imposter syndrome. And how that thing be creeping up on you and you don't even be realizing what's going on. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Random Wednesdays on Gratified Grad, where it's my goal to help you graduate with gratification. So, I just came out of experiencing imposter syndrome, and I was able to identify that I was going through imposter syndrome right at the end of, me starting to come out of it. And so I'm going to talk about two different instances where I experienced imposter syndrome. The first one that I'm going to talk about, I didn't understand that I was going through imposter syndrome until like maybe about a month ago. And I mentioned it briefly in a video that I'm going to link up here with Dr. Melanie McReynolds, where we're talking about faith and how, you can include your faith in your work as a student of higher education or just a professional. And so when I started graduate school, I experienced imposter syndrome big time. Like, I'd never experienced imposter syndrome to the extent in which I had experienced it with graduate school. I'm pretty sure that I have experienced imposter syndrome before, but the stakes weren't as high as they are within graduate school and the decisions that I was making or I was considering about to make. So my first year in graduate school, I just felt overwhelmed. I'm in this new space by myself, freaking 1,000 miles away from home, and I was now like living on my own. It was just a lot, and also trying to go to school. So for me, undergrad was normal. Like, that was just something that you did after you graduated from high school, because I've seen a number of people go to undergrad and get their undergrad degrees. So it was, it felt natural, it felt normal. But then coming to graduate school, and then I also went to a historically Black college, and I feel like that helped in, the normalcy of, me being a Black woman and pursuing higher education. And so coming into graduate school, for me, I think I was one of two people in my graduating class that had a set plan following us graduating. There were other people who did have things lined up and were waiting to hear back, but I think that it was just me and one other person who knew exactly what we were going to do in terms of going off for higher education. I take that back. It was three people in my class. And it very well may have been more, but I know for sure what I knew of, and so this is like from my perspective, is there were three people including me. And so, I was taking this leap, and I was not looking around and seeing a lot of my peers also taking this leap. And so that was the baseline layer of the imposter syndrome that I was feeling. Was that, though I went to undergrad around a lot of people who look like me, I was one of few that was continuing to go on. And so I got to Penn State, and it was different. We're just gonna leave it at that. It was different. And so I got here and I just needed to adjust. And I'm, on the go. I got it. I can get it. I can do it kind of person. And coming here, like, I really had to sit and realize that I don't have it. Like, I don't I can't just pick it up and go. Like, I really have to turn into a sponge. And basically, like, that, I kid you not, I thought of it as my first year in undergrad as I was becoming a baby again, and that I was relearning so many things, and I was just a sponge, and I would just absorb everything and as much as I possibly could absorb. And in me doing that, yes, I exposed myself to a lot, but then I also realized that I don't know nearly as much as what I thought. This world is way bigger than what I had surrounded myself around in undergrad and high school. And I started to feel like, maybe I'm not supposed to be here. I remember having a conversation with our student coordinator, telling her that, I don't think I'm doing good. I think that I'm going to get put out of the program. And she was like, why? And to be honest, I didn't have any other reason but myself. The only reason that I was feeling that way was because of imposter syndrome. And yes, I'd heard of imposter syndrome. There were some people who mentioned imposter syndrome, but it didn't click for me. Like, it just didn't really click that I was going through imposter syndrome. Like, it really did not hit me that it was me. Like, me and imposter syndrome was entangled. Y'all know. But I made it through. I stuck it out. I stayed. And really that time was the time that I decided that, me breaking out of that imposter syndrome bout, which it lasted about 6-8 months, I want to say. And so me getting out of that was me choosing my health over thinking that, I didn't have any accomplishments. Because I had gotten to a point where I was like, this program is what I have. I don't have anything else if I don't have this program. And, it just, now I look back and I'm like, wow, like, you forgot that you have all these awards. You forgot that you've mentored all these students. You forgot that you have an entire bachelor's degree. I think a part of it is that I was so focused on getting my future degree that to me there were no other alternatives. And when it gets to a moment where your back is against a wall per se, or I was face to face with imposter syndrome, I did not realize that I could tell imposter syndrome, look, I got other options. I'm here because I want to be here. Not because I have to be here, not because I'm not capable of doing anything else. And it really was this just forgetting, like I'd forgotten. And so it took me saying that, you know what, like, I'm not finna sit here like my hair was falling out, y'all. It wasn't falling out that bad. Like, but my health was just not what I was about to continue to sacrifice. Like, there were nights where, I would wake up in the middle of the night and my heart would be pounding out of my chest. And it wasn't until recently, maybe about a year ago, that I realized that what I was experiencing was a panic attack. I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I just knew that I couldn't sleep. My heart was pounding and, I just needed to breathe. And I would literally have to sit up and breathe in the middle of the night because I was just so anxious. And, going to the doctor was not, in my mind, I was like, I don't need to go to the doctor for this. So, yeah, I realized that I could have gone to the doctor, but I didn't. Just did. And so after about 8 months of this, 8 months, I said that, you know what, no, this degree, this PhD is not my end all be all. I decided in that moment that I am here because I chose to be here. I am here because I am choosing to stay here. And more importantly, now, what I say now is I'm here because this degree is attached to my purpose. I am now in my 5th year, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but I do know that this degree is attached to my purpose. So now, fast forward to when I just experienced imposter syndrome. All 4 years here, I've been working in diversity and inclusion work, and how can I help to make the minority student experience better here, and at a PWI or predominantly white institution. And so I've been doing that work since day one, to be honest. But then when we had this resurgence of everyone has time to realize that Black Lives Matter, it triggered me because I started to see more and more people trying to have meetings, trying to talk, trying to figure out what can we do to help the minority students. And for me, it was kind of like, so were you not paying attention to any of my efforts before now? Have you not been seeing all the work that I've been doing before now? And so that in return caused me to be like, okay, well, what do I need to do? What do I need to change? How do I need to show up in this space so that you are receiving the work that I'm doing? And, that was very stressful for me because I started to, try to explore and look outside of what I've been traditionally doing, the things that, I've been able to do with ease because that's naturally how I move. And I started to try to step outside of those things and, look into other areas. And that just started causing me more stress. And then I started to feel like, well, you know what? Maybe I just need to stop. Like, maybe this world, this academic world, this lifestyle, maybe I'm not meant to be in it because this is too hard for me. Not the case at all. Because let's run the facts, right? Let's think back to what all have I done. I've received awards. I've received recognition. I've started organizations based off of the minority work that I do. So, once again, let's bring it back. Let's think about what have I already done, and the fact that I've been progressing. I've been doing things to help my community and my people. So why do I need to change? Just because they're now becoming awakened to these things does not mean that I need to do anything differently. And once I realized that, once again, so this bout of imposter syndrome, I would say it started about April. Yeah, I believe it started about April, May-ish. Probably closer to like the end of April. And it lasted up until about 2 weeks ago. 2-3 weeks ago, to where I realized that I don't have to change what I've been doing. I don't have to step out of my lane. I can keep going as I've been going and showing up in the spaces as how I've been showing up. And I'm still doing my part. I'm still doing the thing that I love. I'm still acting in my purpose. And so I hope that this video, from this you can get, how do you identify your triggers that cause you to experience imposter syndrome? And then, what things do you need to do in order to take that step back and reevaluate and realize that I am qualified. I am supposed to be here, and I am doing what I should be doing. I also wrote a blog post about this where I write down 5 steps and then even like an extra, like once you grow into this growth step. So if you're interested in more and you just want to read about it, the link is in the description box and below. Hopefully this has been another tool that you can add to your toolbox so that you may graduate with gratification.